Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
And this is Big Geek Umar. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing a lot better. Thank you for asking. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. For those of you who don't know, our boy Tactics got hit with whatever's going around in the
Twice.
daycares.
Twice, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Like I got hit first with whatever bug is going around currently, not COVID, but then I have to preface that. But then I gave it to my girlfriend, and then she got sick. I got better in the midst of it, but then I was taking care of her, and then I think she got me sick again with a different
Oh,
strand, and then it knocked me out for another couple of days. So
oh,
yeah.
well, this just goes to show. Yes, we survived the pandemic. Yeah, COVID was a big thing, but people, flu season, it still takes you out even without the COVID.
Yeah, yeah, but I'd rather have that than that the bid, bro.
Yeah. Oh man, vid, because you didn't have any like of the cold sweats or shit, right?
No, I did have a fever, but no
Oh.
no cold sweats or anything else, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're all hoping that you get recover nice and fast. Also, as you can all tell, we're missing our bro Darcy today. Our boy got double scheduled and like needed to take care of some stuff. So we're missing him. We're hoping to hear from his thoughts about some of the topics we have today later on. But the show must go on. So
Mhm.
moving up to our first topic, which is a trailer that, in my opinion, came out of nowhere. It's so I was just like scrolling through YouTube as I do, trying to find stuff to talk about for our next podcast, and this Bill Skarsgård trailer just pops out of nowhere, and it's called "Boy Kills World." It's an action thriller. I'm assuming comedy, given how like incredibly zany the trailer was. It stars Bill Skarsgård, who, for those of you who don't know, was in the latest John Wick movie, and also was
Pennywise.
Pennywise. Yeah, Pennywise. Okay, so from It. So he is now moving from horror into action, and I mean he didn't do much action in John Wick, so I think he's trying to make up for that in this, and he's playing the character Boy, who has an inner voice played by someone else who I don't know. And actually, like I'm gonna let me just read the premise before I come to you.
Mhm.
So the premise of the trailer, because I don't know anything else about like what I'm going to say to you, is when his family is killed, a deaf man named Boy escapes to the jungle where he is trained by a mysterious mentor to enact vengeance on the murderers. Now, the mysterious mentor is I think it's the one of the fighters from the raid.
Mhm.
He was like the Mad Dog guy. So like you can see him in the photo that we have right now on screen. So that's all we know aside from the trailer. T, what do you think about this trailer?
I like this trailer. It's fun. It looks fun. It's zany. It's wacky. It looks somewhat unique. Um, I'm actually super impressed by Bill Skarsgård and his portrayal in this because
Yeah.
one, I didn't know he had fighting capabilities. I knew he was super flexible from It. He actually did a lot of his own stunts, like with the contortion and stuff like that. So I knew he
Oh,
was So I knew he was at least flexible, and it was really interesting because I heard I think it was in an interview that he had did a long time ago where he had mentioned that it was hard for him to break out into acting or into the industry because of his height, because people just thought he was just way too tall to be like recognized as like a notable star and whatnot. And then of course he went on to do It. He did Barbarian, like you mentioned. He was in the latest John Wick movie, and now this guy is
hold up. He's saying he had a difficult time because he's too tall.
too tall. Yeah, because like what
His dad and his brother have both had very successful careers in Hollywood, though.
well, because I think because he's tall, but he's also lanky, and like
Ah,
he's got like he's got a unique face. You know what I mean? Like
Fair.
He's not like one of those
Traditionally
like
attractive
pretty,
man.
yeah, like the pretty boy types, you know what I mean? So I think that was part of it, where it was like just hard for him to break out and find like really good roles that like, or like lead roles. And then of course he went on to do It, which was a super smash, like it was like a office hit. And
Yeah.
then and I think that's kind of what like propelled him forward into his career. And now he's doing all these other wacky movies, and you know, he made a cameo in Deadpool 2 and whatnot. And so this, I was surprised to see him in something like this, but like I've liked what I've seen him in so far. Like Barbarian, I really enjoyed. I thought he was a great villain in John Wick, and now we get uh we get to see a different side of him, as in like he's like he's in the forefront now as a hero, and then we get to see his fighting shop too, because
Yeah.
and plus the guys from the raid are attached to this too, which makes it super exciting as well. So you know the fight choreography is going to be bananas. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see this. And I like when movies kind of take a risk and take a gamble and like go outside the norm. And like the concept of it, like him being deaf, but then like the whole movie is being narrated not by his voice, but like by like a voice from like his childhood or whatever like that. I think that's pretty fascinating. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. This looks fun. This looks cool, and I'm sure Bill is going to knock it out of the park. Before we move
Damn.
on to you though, uh, did you know he's also attached to the new Crow reboot?
Yes.
And there's like pitch. I totally forgot that they were doing a Crow reboot, because I at one point I think what's his name, Aquaman dude, Jason Momoa. I think at one point he
Oh
was attached to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was ages ago though, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like
that's the thing. I thought they scrapped it after
he
that didn't
left.
really, or yeah, after he left or whatever happened with that. And then apparently I didn't even know Bill Skarsgård was attached to play the Crow.
Oh yeah, I knew he had been attached, but I completely forgot about the movie. Do you have a picture of him? Like, because like they released a couple of like
I could pull it up while you
yeah.
give your input on the trailer.
Yeah, so like regarding going back to the boy kills world, I will say that like I don't know what's happening right now in like action movie genre. Like people talk about, like critics have been talking about how like romantic comedies have been an old staple genre that has started to die in modern cinema. Like no one's bothering to watch it unless it's like on streaming, and they're saying like this is such a wasted opportunity. And people were talking about that with action movies. However, what's happened recently is, in my opinion, especially because we've been talking about it so much on the podcast, the recent trailers for action movies have been really entertaining and intriguing. And like we want to see Roadhouse. It looks really good. We want to see
Even
this
though there's
movie.
so much drama around that movie right
There
now.
is so much drama. Like, holy shit. I feel bad because like this thing has like read already to infamy and it hasn't even been released yet.
Yeah, like it's gonna be crazy if the drama behind the scenes is more entertaining than the actual movie.
It would be hilarious if like we watch it, we're like, yeah, that was a forgettable movie, but we remember the drama only.
100%.
But yeah, so like nonetheless, I find that this trailer follows suit with recent trends of action movies that look not just appealing but interesting, and makes me want to go watch them. Now, it's in the case of Roadhouse, going to go see it in the theater, don't really have that option anymore, which is frustrating. But with this, I really hope it goes so we can watch it in theaters, because like for those of you who don't worry, I'm not going to ruin anything, but I watched Dune in the movie theater yesterday, part 2, and say what you want about the film, that needs to be seen in theaters. That is a theater experience. If you're not a fan, it's still beautiful. And literally every single person I've talked to, and every single person who's reviewed it, and every single person who's had a negative thing, the one thing they say is this needs to be seen and heard in the theaters, even if you don't like it. So I kind of think that action movies, especially we're getting good ones now, or I should say, they look very interesting and appealing. I'm glad we're kind of having this like resurgence. And oh yeah. So for those of you, the reason why I've stopped is because Tactix has put the latest image of Bill Skarsgård portraying as Eric Draven, aka the Crow. Now, T, did you hear about the Crow? Like, who's directing it?
No.
So this guy is the one who did Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell.
Hey, pass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, those are two not good films back to back, and I'm just like, ooh.
And I'm not crazy about the look.
The look is weird,
and I don't know, man. There's something. I don't know if the Crow needs to be rebooted. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I mean that's like it's a cult classic. It's a damn near perfect film. You can clearly see that the like Christopher Nolan from like his Dark Knight pulled some references from that movie, and
a lot of people reference that movie.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know if it like really needs a reboot.
Yeah,
they've tried with like TV series, and like I think they did another movie, didn't they? Like a sequel that didn't, or it went
probably.
Straight to, I think it went straight to DVD.
Yeah, like it never. They've never been able to capture the magic of the first one.
No,
and this image would have intrigued me, but like the director's just kind of killed it for me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's one movie I'm probably. I mean, I'll still see it just out of curiosity. But
okay, I'll wait for reviews. But if it's like the rest of his, filmography, I'm just gonna wait for that to come out on streaming.
Yeah. So here's the thing, too. Not to get too off track, but so they're doing a Bad Boys 4, and Bad Boys 4, apparently, according to John Campea, they moved the release date ahead a week to line up with The Crow, which means that whoever's creating Bad Boys is like, yeah, no one's gonna watch The Crow.
So
they're like we're pretty safe this week because no one's watching that shit.
Okay, I don't mean to be rude, but that's like really disrespectful.
100%, but checkmate.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But Bill Skarsgård is going to be all right regardless. I mean, the other aforementioned movie that we're talking about, the Boy Kills World. I was going to say Boy Meets World. That's a completely different thing.
That would be hilarious if he was the boy. I'll be like, yo, Corey?
Yo, you know what? That would actually be pretty sick.
Bill Skarsgård as Corey adult
Matthews?
Corey?
Yo! That would be sick.
It could be Boy Meets World. It'd have to be like Man Meets World.
I mean, he maybe just he just never transitioned to a man. He just stayed a boy his entire life, like Peter Pan syndrome.
I think that's more like Benjamin Button style, bro.
No, but that Benjamin, he started off as an old dude and then he transitioned into a boy. Yeah. And then died.
Well, anyway, going back to Boy Kills World.
Yeah, we got way too sidetracked.
we got a little carried away. But our subject, our comment section are not a fan of Bill.
Oh, what happened with Bill? What did he do?
Apparently, UTF is not a fan. But I will say that Boy Kills World is interesting. The cast is actually pretty impressive. Like they got like, it's been a while since I've seen Famke Janssen come back. So like I was just like, oh, okay. But like the fact that I had Michelle Dockery in it, I was kind of like, okay. She's, for those of you who don't know, she is one of the main actresses in the Downton Abbey.
Thank you, because I did not know.
Yes. So she's done her rom-com, not even rom-com, her dramatic, romantic staple in the halls of cinema / TV.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will look forward to see how the reviews go for Boy Kills World, and yeah, we'll hopefully it'll be something worth us reviewing. Until then, moving on to our next topic. So this has been something that has been talked about at length, whether on this podcast or also, in the ether. But it has now been confirmed that Henry Cavill has accepted or has been cast in a MCU role. However, that role has not been revealed. And there has been a lot of rumors recently that Henry Cavill is potentially being casted as Cyclops. I don't know how this rumor started. I don't know who this rumor was spread from, but I just woke up one day and there's 10 different stuff on Twitter and 2 people on TikTok, and then the next day it quadrupled. So this thing has been gaining steam, and there's nothing is confirmed, just that Henry Cavill is at present signed on to join the MCU in some capacity. And now people are wondering what it is, but there's a lot of buzz around Cyclops, which was surprising to me. So, T, if proven correct, what are your thoughts on Henry Cavill being Cyclops?
That's interesting. That wasn't going to be my first go-to in terms of where my mind was at in regards to the role that he was going to play, but Cyclops is an interesting choice. Here's the thing. I like the fact that he's such a huge geek.
Yeah.
And has a strong appreciation for source material, and the man does his homework. He's not just
that's right,
run-of-the-mill actor who just kind of I'll just do whatever I need to for the check. He's very passionate about the projects that he's attached to, right? And so whether it's Cyclops or whether it's another character, I gotta say, I trust the man to deliver to appease the fans above anything else. So while Cyclops wasn't my initial choice in terms of what I saw for him, if rumors were said to be true and it was hey, yeah, he's going to be our next Cyclops, I've been okay, cool. That I'm sure he's going to body that role. I'm sure he's going to do an exceptionally bang up job. And
what was the role that you thought he was going to play? Or sorry, I should say, what would you have wanted him to play?
As an X-Men character?
Or no, just anyone in the MCU.
Anyone in the MCU? I mean,
that could also include X-Men as well.
I actually don't know. I'm still having a hard time separating him from Superman, if I'm being completely honest. To me, he's still I see this face and I'm that's Superman. Even when I watch other movies, I'm where's your suit at, bro? You're just you're Superman. Why are you trying to be an agent right now? Or if he's in Mission Impossible, I'm this isn't you, man. Superman, this ain't you, bro.
Just take off that mustache.
Just shave that shit, man. This ain't you, man. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, right now, I guess Cyclops, just because it's been mentioned already, but I don't know who else I would put him as in the MCU as of right now.
Okay, so I will say that now, what is your understanding of the type of character Cyclops is?
What is my understanding of the type of person that Cyclops is?
Yes.
A natural born leader, but somewhat flawed in terms of I feel like he's like Leonardo in the sense where he is trying his best to appease his master, or in this case, Professor Xavier,
right.
At all costs. and it's sometimes at the cost of his own respect amongst his peers. And he's kind of like a straight and edged type of character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I didn't really like him initially, because I felt like he wasn't very multi-layered. But then
Right.
I don't think I gave him enough time to kind of be fleshed out and like really have a deeper understanding of the character. Because like now, with all this talk of like Cyclops and the introduction of the rest of the X-Men, a lot of people are saying how Cyclops is like actually like legit, and like he's like a lot more powerful than people let on, like that people actually understand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, interesting. I didn't realize that about him. And now I'm like a little bit more intrigued to see him like kind of come to fruition a little bit more and just be fleshed out a little bit more, because I feel like the problem, even though I liked some of the classic X-Men movies, well, I mean, they were okay.
I hear you. They were a hit or a miss.
Yeah. At the time, I mean, because like, given that we only had Spider-Man at the time, and like X-Men when it first came out, we were excited just to get
We were
anything.
we were in a desert. We
Yeah.
just wanted water, and we got it like every now and again, and we took whatever piss ass water we had.
Right, exactly. But the problem with X-Men, especially when you did it as a movie, is you didn't you're mostly focusing on the heavy hitters, and you don't have time to flesh out a lot of the other characters. So like
Yeah.
I found that with the movies, they focused a lot of attention on Wolverine,
Yeah.
I don't Magneto to a certain extent, and
Yeah.
Professor Xavier,
Yep.
and Mystique, and that's kind of it. Jean Grey a little bit.
Beast a little bit too.
Yeah.
No, actually not so much.
Well, yeah, because he got introduced later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so like Cyclops took a back seat.
Yeah.
Um,
Storm took a
Storm
back
took a
seat.
back seat. Yeah. So it's like we didn't really get a chance to.
Rogue. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
yeah, yeah. Don't even mention Rogue, man. I don't know what they did there, but um, when you have so many interesting characters like that, it's so hard to pick and choose who you focus on, right? And as a
Yeah.
movie, you only have so much time, so little time to really flesh out every individual character and still make it kind of mesh together well in the overarching story that you're trying
Yeah.
to portray. So um I would like to see Cyclops fleshed out a little bit more, considering the fact that he is the leader. I don't think we need more emphasis on Wolverine. We've had that for like over 10 years now. Although, like,
He's had his own movies too.
yeah. So it's like let's start to focus on some of the other characters like Cyclops and Storm, right? But Cyclops, especially considering that he is the leader, we need to actually see that leadership role kind of like take precedent,
Come
because
out.
yeah, we didn't see. I don't feel like we saw that at all in any of the movies, really.
Not really. Like he had like a moment. He had like moments here and
Yeah.
there.
But as a leader, you're not supposed to have moments. You're supposed to have
No.
you're supposed to be the standout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So for me personally, I would be interested in Henry Cavill being Cyclops. It's like an older Cyclops, which would mean that they would have to do, hopefully, one of the older, like his. Basically, like from 2011, Cyclops in the comics has started to get really interesting. They did like a whole rebrand of him,
Mhm.
and he basically became someone who's like a mix between Magneto and Professor Xavier, where he still wants to honor Professor Xavier, but he's having to use tactics that like Magneto is respecting. Basically, he
Mhm.
goes to humanity. I'm still going to protect you, but don't fuck with us. Like, if you start killing us, I'm going to defend mutants from you.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay.
Hmm.
And so that, and also he started like he started. People said that he like abandoned Xavier's mission, but he was like, no, I'm being my own person, and
Mhm.
I'm tired of being like public. Like he went up and like got into the face of the Avengers. Was like, yo, how many of mutants have you just let them kill because they were following the law?
Question: what was it about Cyclops that Professor Xavier saw a good leader in? Like what determined him as a leader, or what
Because
solidified him as a leader?
I would say it was a mix of the fact that he always gave 100%
Mm-hmm.
to like whatever Professor Xavier, like he was the protege of Professor Xavier, and he wanted to be him,
Mm-hmm.
but also he was someone that Professor X could always rely on,
Mm-hmm.
and also he did the work, like he did like the tactical training, he did the readings, he learned the lessons, and he was always there to be like, no, like we like we're going to protect people, and it was always coming from like deep down.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a good man who also believed in the professor's dream
Mm-hmm.
and was willing to like fight people in order to like do what's right. But what happened in 2011, like it started like that's when he started like hooking up with Emma Frost, and you know, kind of bailed on Jean, and then also he started he started disagree, like Professor Xavier wasn't in the picture anymore because he was like somewhere or another, and so Magneto didn't make sense to him, but like Cyclops couldn't like keep sitting by and watching his brothers and sisters getting killed, or I should say his people getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, okay, I'm not going to let them just start murdering mutants left, right, and center who are just trying to live their life. So he's like, I will protect humanity from like the mutant terrorists, but I'm going to protect mutants from human terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
And this required him to like step up. Like he's had a really good relationship with the Avengers. He's like, yo, I know you guys have had our back, but you're also standing by and letting these people get away with killing my people.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened, it's kind of like he became more interesting. He stepped out of the shadow of Xavier, and some could say like he got like infected with the Phoenix Force and killed Xavier, and then like after that he kind of went down a rabbit hole because he was like, holy shit, like what did I do? And also he was treated as a criminal, but then like he kind of got released. Magneto had his back, and so it kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna protect mutants my own way. And like Emma Frost was in part like the White Queen was like his girlfriend, so everyone's like, yo, is she messing with him? It's like, no, she's just letting him be him.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, oh, you went for the bad girl, and all of a sudden you're a douchebag. It's like, no, guys, I'm fighting for humans. I'm just not letting them get away with killing our guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where Wolverine and him kind of had this like clash, because Wolverine's like, yo, you betrayed your wife and now you're betraying your mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, and like it's like you just wanted everything I had. Don't act like you're going to be anything like this. So Wolverine ended up taking over the Xavier Institute.
Shots fired. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, literally they went at it. It was like, so
yeah, but they've always had this long lasting.
They've had beef.
Yeah. So,
but I will say that like, so if they do a modernistic, like basically a Cyclops who no longer, like at the end of the first movie, he's like, no, I can't do this anymore, Professor. I could see Henry Cavill being able to do that. But if I'm being honest, the person that I thought Henry Cavill was going to play was Captain Britain. I thought that was like a no-brainer.
Captain Britain.
Okay. So like for those of you who don't know, Captain Britain is obviously he's basically like the British Captain America, as the name implies. He's also Psylocke's brother. Do you remember Psylocke?
I'm not. I don't know who that is.
You know the pink-haired girl who's a ninja, who like.
Oh, Psylocke. I heard something completely different. Okay.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Psylocke. So he is Psylocke's, I think, twin brother or like brother. They are siblings.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know she had a sibling.
Yeah. So she's British. So like it makes sense that like Captain Britain is being British. But the thing is like, so he's like Britain's Captain America, but his power is like from interdimensional. Like it's like the source is from interdimensional power source. So the further away from England he goes, the like he loses his power. He has to go back. Also, if I remember correctly, his power is based off his confidence. So like you like break this guy's heart, he's not going to be Captain Britain anymore.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, so I personally feel Captain Britain makes more sense for him, but like if they're not going to do like a Captain Britain like movie or like or have like I can see Cyclops being a good choice for him as a secondary option.
Okay, wait. So hold on. So are you telling me that like if this guy the self-esteem issues are his weakness?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So you could just say like, yo, you got a little dick, and then that's it. He's just like, it's like that. Like it's game over for this guy.
Okay, but like, okay, I would say more. It's the fact that it's like he believes in himself, and the moment he doesn't believe he can do things is when he goes down.
Wow, that
basically don't like he can't let his insecurities be known because then this guy is going to fold very quickly.
And he's only effective in his hometown. Is that what you're saying?
In his home country, so in Britain. Like if he stays on the, I'm sorry, I just read Chris's. So Chris Tari says, so if Cyclops leads and Wolverine is cool but rude, which X-Men is a party to. Gambit.
Yeah.
100%.
He'd be the Michelangelo of the group.
Like Iceman. Because Beast is definitely okay. I can't believe we're making this comparison, but like, yeah, Cyclops is Leonardo. Wolverine is Raph.
100%.
Beast is definitely Donatello.
Yeah.
Or Forge is Donatello, but I'm going to say Beast. And then I want to say Gambit is Michelangelo, but it could also be Bobby.
I don't know enough about Bobby's personality to.
Fair, like that, so. The iteration from the movies was not like what he is in the comics, like
yeah.
But Gambit, like Gambit's like flirting with everybody, like literally, like they need an HR person in the Xavier Institute because Gambit needs to be under control.
This is true. He's a problem.
Wolverine's also a problem, but his less sexual harassment, except for if it's related to Jean. But like he just threatens everybody.
Yeah, he's definitely a problem.
Scott is like the poster boy for HR. They're just like, just be like him. But anyway, going back to it, like I think that Captain Britain's weakness is self-esteem, and also if he's kept too far away from England.
This dude sounds whack. What kind of power set is this, man?
Well, like okay, like if I remember correctly, he has like super strength. He has flight. He has all
I got to do is say, yo, you ain't that strong. You ain't Hulk strong. And it's over for this guy. He'll cry in a corner and then lose all his powers. Confidence done.
I think that's all he has, actually. Super strength and like basically Captain America's like level of strength and agility and all that sort of stuff, and flight.
Wow.
But like, okay, if he is confident in himself, he won't let some people like talking shit about him like affect him, unless like the whole country like starts like, yo,
100%. I'll just rally up like the whole country and just be like, yo,
TikTok and Reddit would be like his undoing. He got to stay off social media.
100%, bro. Look how damaging social media is to us, bro.
Yeah. Oh my god! If they include social media, and if it's weakness,
it's over for this guy. He loses 10 followers and he's crying in the corner. Power's done, bro. That's it, man. That's it for this guy. It's a wrap for this guy.
Okay, actually, now that would be a good way for them to show how the negative effects on social media and toxic online culture.
Wow.
Yo, if he got canceled,
Right? Right? It's over for this guy. Absolutely over for this guy. No chance. Should have rethought this power strategy, man. This is not.
Yo,
This is not
actually,
a
I
good
kind
look.
of want the story to be made now because that would be actually really interesting. Like, a Captain America that gets taken down by cancel culture.
Yeah, I would watch that actually.
Yo, okay. I'm like, and also he can have fun with this. Henry Cavill can like joke around, but also take it seriously.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, so like those are our suggestions. Let's go off to the comments. Who would you want Henry Cavill to play in the MCU if you had your way? And like, please leave a comment in our live stream or also in the comment section of our YouTube. So, moving on to our next topic. Excuse me. So, this was, in my opinion, both unwelcome news and interestingly or intriguing news as like a dual combo. I mean, I don't know if I need to introduce the anime Naruto or the manga Naruto or the very concept of Naruto, but it is a very famous anime and manga in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It ran for like 20 years. It has completed and has now shifted to his son Boruto, and that's like the new storyline that's going along. So there was talk of Hollywood doing an adaptation because apparently that's the only thing Hollywood wants to do these days is taking live action adaptations for anything remotely well made in terms of animated or anime. And so I was kind of just like, nah, I don't really want to. I don't want to see this. Also, I don't think it can be adapted, and let's just move forward. However, the intriguing part of all this came this past week, where the director for Shang-Chi, aka Destin Daniel Cretton, let me just look that up. Destin Daniel Cretton has been apparently signed on that he will be directing said live action adaptation.
Oh, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was just he wants to do it.
No, he's been hired.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. Now, for those of you who don't know, aside from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Destin has done The Glass Castle, and which I don't think was done very well, and Just Mercy, which I heard very good things about. So he's I don't want to say a hit or miss. He's had a couple of hits. Like he's still a new director, and he's had some pretty big successes. Anyway, he is now going to be directing the live action adaptation, and this has apparently been given this director has been giving the blessing from the author of Naruto, who is Masashi Kishimoto. So Kishimoto has given Destin his blessing for his adaptation. That image, by the way, really does help to sell that for me. Anyway, so I know that you haven't watched the second series, Naruto Shippuden, but I do know you watched the first series, Naruto. So you are, thank God, able to actually have an anime under your belt that we can have a full-fledged conversation about regarding this. I want to ask, what are your thoughts?
I'm very mixed on this right now. And I liked Shang-Chi. I liked the visuals. Like the end, it kind of fell apart near the end for me, if I'm being completely honest.
I will agree. Once the dad was out of the picture, it kind of lost it for me.
Yeah. It kind of jumped ship for me a little bit near the third act. But overall, I was thoroughly entertained by the film as a whole,
Mhm.
and I thought the directing was really solid. So I don't have doubts that the guy can't pull off a Naruto adaptation. Why I'd be like somewhat intrigued is I saw all of Naruto. I didn't see all of Shippuden. So if we actually ended up getting to that point in a live action movie where I didn't have to go back and watch Shippuden, I could just kind of get the gist of the story in live action. Because like, as much as I love this show, it's just there's just so much filler to get through, and I've like forgotten like what episodes I need to focus on and which ones I could just kind of.
Why do you say this when I'm right here?
I know, bro. I know, but there's so like I'll be the first to admit I'm bad with anime, bro. Like I'll start it, I'll get really into it, and then I'll just like stop because I'll get so busy. And then like months will go by, and then when I get back into a show, I'm like, fuck, I don't even remember what happened, where I left off. Like I'm so confused. Who are all these characters? So it's like that's kind of what happened with me in Naruto. And like the first one, I lost so much sleep over. And then Shippuden, like, yeah, it was a whole thing. But yeah, it would be nice to kind of get like a live action depiction done well. The problem is like, what is this going to look like? Because and like
I don't know.
and the thing is like here's the thing, and we're gonna kind of get into it with the because we're gonna be discussing the Avatar Netflix adaptation, right? It's like
Yeah.
cartoon cartoons and anime don't always translate well. Like what works for anime and animation, when you try to bring it into the live action, what ends up happening is, you know, the creators of the show with the intention of trying to capture what worked for the animated shows, they try to modernize it or they try to make it more realistic and less campy. But what they end up doing is they end up missing a lot of the core elements that made the show fun.
Yep.
But I understand why they're trying to modernize it, because if you literally take verbatim what the animated show or the anime show did and you put it into live action, I just don't think it works because it just comes off as like campy bullshit. And so
Or yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like I don't know. Like, look at how these guys like look at how they dress. Like, this is what we would be getting as a live action thing. Like, it works for the show, but like, what person do you know is walking around looking like this? Like,
Well, that doesn't look that terrible to me. I like the whiskers on the other hand look like completely like he painted it on.
yeah, like I'm just, I don't know, bro. Like, it kind of pulls you out of this world, and it's just like this doesn't seem realistic, and it's just, and then on top of that is because Naruto, like the character of Naruto, he's like it's buffoonery. Like he's he's a clown, and it's like it works for the show and it adds like that lightheartedness. But you put that into live action, and you're just like, yo, what am I watching right now? Like,
Also, if you okay, that actor clearly looks like he's in his because the thing is, what I'm worried about this thing, first of all, how long are they gonna is Hollywood gonna be adapting Naruto like films? Because like unless it's a TV series, there's no way that you can like make films that would even scratch the surface of the story. Like
no.
you could do the entire like unless they do like MCU where you do like 25 films. You could like, anime, you can definitely cut filler out and like make stories enough. But like, okay, so that thing I just find to be odd. Secondly, you gonna have to find actors who are kid actors who can survive all the way to like mid adulthood and get shit done in that time. So that doesn't make sense either. But like you're saying, when you have adult actors acting like teenagers who are then acting like buffoon teenagers,
Yeah.
how are you going to capture that? And also, there's a lot of fan service in Naruto. How is that going to come across? Because that's like character defining for certain characters.
Yeah. Like it would be cool to see like certain characters and like the arc, like the Gara arc, like that would be
That'd be dope.
that would be pretty dope to see. And then like, you know, him and Sasuke going at it, like that would be cool. But like
I wouldn't actually mind seeing Jiraiya and Naruto, their relationship, like developing, because that's like a quite nice relationship. I would like if Jiraiya didn't have a certain perspective of his personality shown.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I'm reserving judgment until I see a trailer, but like I just don't know how this works. And like now I'm kind of like after watching Avatar, and not to say that it was like, I mean, we'll get into that, but like
Yeah.
after after watching Avatar, I'm kind of just like there's certain adaptations that just don't work. Like I don't know if I ever want to see a Dragon Ball live action. Like they tried it, it didn't work. I mean, the way that they went about it in terms of the direction was just idiotic. Like, did M Night do that movie?
No, M Night did not do that movie.
Okay,
though. No, if M Night did that movie, he would have death threats from like 2 hemispheres.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the actual Avatar. I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, this guy's ruining all the anime characters, right? But yeah, just some cartoons don't translate well and should not transition to live action. I said it before, like The Simpsons, for example. Like, I don't need to see a live action Simpsons movie. I don't need to see a live action Family Guy movie. I mean, we're talking about Invincible, and I'm like, I'm still enjoying the cartoon. Like, I don't need to see something like that right now.
Neither do I, to be honest. Like, I think that's like making it a live action is a money grab. I think keeping and like, not that okay. I will say that I think it was Darcy who said this like offhandedly off air when we were like hanging out one time. Having like Into the Spider-Verse, like the Spider-Verse like movies are adaptations of some sort of the comics. I think they are really good adaptations that also happen to prove they're very good quality film. Pixar has proven that animated films aren't stupid. Like they can be also for adults. Studio Ghibli with like Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away can prove that, hey, yes, kids can watch this, but so can adults. So this could be like multi-layered and mature on many different fronts. That don't mean I want to see any Studio Ghibli Spirited Away live action. That don't mean I want to see any of like I don't want to see like Monsters Inc. in a live action.
Nah.
If you like anime, I can understand why before people were wondering, oh yeah, it would be so good if like live action of this, and that. Yes, but like you said, T, some like a vast majority of what makes anime good doesn't translate well to live action, and so then you have to start making changes, at which point you're changing the essence. So I personally feel that we should stop doing live action adaptations. And
prime example, Lion King.
Ooh, that wasn't exactly a live action adaptation, as it was just more CGI. But yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like when you try to go that route of making it like more realistic and like putting like a live action feel to it, it just doesn't translate the same way.
Yeah. No, I'm in complete agreement. Live action adaptations should only be in limited situations. I'm trying to think of like.
Now, if you go the other way, and you make what was originally a live action show into a cartoon,
I think that works.
That could work, because I know, for example, I know you're not a big fan of Smallville, but for the longest time, I think they've been trying to do an animated show where they continue the series, and I could see that working, because you could take it in a different direction, and you can have a lot more liberties than you couldn't with the live action show.
Yeah, because like I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me rephrase. The Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Good film.
Mm-hmm.
People enjoyed it. People forgot about it pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Assault on Arkham.
People still talk about that movie, man.
You know that's right. That's an animated movie, and people still talk about how that is how the Suicide Squad should be, and that's how Batman should be with the Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that in live. Like, you can't do that in live action, and
No.
now, granted, the Warner Brothers and the DC, and you like cinematic universe has not been. They haven't really been doing much good since the Dark Knight trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So James Gunn could change all that. However, Spider-Man, live action Spider-Man's pretty good, relatively.
Mm-hmm.
Animated Spider-Man movies, 2 of them, perfection.
Yep.
I will say that, and also like you brought up Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
If you started that as a live action, you could do a hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially hit that can translate pretty well, but that
Mm-hmm.
given how The Boys is, we could see how that could be done.
Yeah.
However, the animated version, super mature, super traumatic, solid.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm saying I want superhero movies to transition to animated stuff, but like the Flash TV series, like any of the CW stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Arrow. Like Arrow, if it had like a good writers, it would have been better. But the Flash was limited to what it could do and just kind of recycle stuff. Honestly, Superman and Lois kind of being held back the same way. Though the New Adventures of Superman animated animated series, dope as fuck.
Would you want to see us? Sorry to go off topic, but would you want to see a Superman?
We're on a tangent right now.
Yeah, but while on this particular topic, would you want to see a Superman and Lois transition to animation? Considering that they're going to be canceled,
we already have that because the new Superman animated series does have Clark and Lois kind of like as a go-to team.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So like I think Superman and Lois helped showing that Lois actually is an interesting character. Clark is an interesting character, but you need to do things interesting. Now, the weird thing is Superman and Lois occasionally, and the New Adventures of Superman animated show are doing a lot more interesting things with Superman than the actual comics right now. Like I was at the comic book store like recently, and I was talking with people, and like there hasn't been an interesting Superman story in like 5 years, maybe 10. Like rarely do we get like interesting Superman stuff because they're always trying to focus on like the powers as opposed to the man. Batman, we're going up and down, but at least there are times where people like, no, watch this, read this, do that. But I think because there's a lot of focus on Batman, and also there's an understanding of who he is. I feel modernly, we're definitely going on a tangent right now, but modern wise, when it comes to Superman, we've lost, like the general populace has been very, very confused on what Superman is. And and I know I'm biased about this, but not to put too fine a point on it, but I think Zack Snyder really helped to make this confusion pretty solid. Because we have people who are like trash talking David Cornsweet and James Gunn's like revelations and leaked images of the new Superman Legacy movie, and they're like, "Oh, like this is not my Superman. This is not my Lex Luthor. This is not my Lois Lane." I'm like, first of all, nothing has happened for you to say that they're not. Second of all, you're talking about like these are all Snyderverse fans who are like, "No, this is not like go back to the real DC, which is the Snyderverse." I'm like,
yeah, but this is all common behavior because they did the exact same thing with Heath Ledger and his Joker, and then look how that panned out.
I will not disagree. I remember because, oh god, this was ages ago, but like when he was first cast, everyone's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, guys, did you watch Brokeback Mountain? The man can act. If like
But
It's
that's
so
why. But that's why
yeah.
everyone was like clowning on him because of the fact that he started that movie, and it was like juvenile, like immature comments, and they couldn't get over that whole
They were saying that about Michael Keaton.
like oh yeah back in the day, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's because he came from a comedy background, like
but the
right,
same thing, man.
yeah,
Like,
the same thing.
so, like, I won't say
And
that
then
DC
and
fans
Robert Pattinson too, he got it
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Twilight boy, like
yeah. Batman fans are harsh.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, okay. Actually, it was interesting because like there was a discussion in one of my group chats, being like, "Yo, who has the more toxic fandom? Is it Star Wars, DC, Marvel, or oh my god, Star Trek?"
Mm.
I'm like, first of all, Star Trek people be toxic in there, but they ain't nowhere on the level of Star Wars or like
Mhm.
DC fans. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. Second of all, I will have to say Star Wars wins.
Mm. Yeah.
Actually, I would say DC is second though.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like now, like as of late, jeez, man. Like we pretty much broke Ben Affleck, bro. Like the man hasn't been the same since Justice League.
I feel bad about that.
At least he got J-Lo out of the deal, but like other than that, man, like this guy, every time you see this man, it's like he's just depressed.
Yeah.
Like you like he's like one bad phone call away from slitting his wrist. Like
Don't say that.
I'm just saying, bro. Like he doesn't look well. Like
I-
J-Lo is holding him together. This man, I don't know what we did, but like DC completely destroyed this guy.
yeah,
Like
DC
he was
did not.
so excited to be
I
Batman,
know.
and we
I
shat on him.
know.
Not me. I was okay with him.
I
I
I
wasn't.
I wanted him to direct Batman. I was fine with him
We
after.
almost had it. We almost had it, but
Yeah, I know.
like y'all got too aggressive, and then look what happened. We scared him away. We scared him away.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've like, I don't even, where were we? With Naruto.
Naruto, yeah.
I was like, where was our original topic?
My bad. That was my fault. That was totally my fault.
I think that's the longest tangent we've ever gone on.
Yeah.
Pull
Pull it back, baby. Pull it back.
I personally, even with Dustin in charge, I will be interested to see how this goes. But to be honest, I still hold that we shouldn't be making this many live action adaptations. We should be trying to like do our own like stories, like other things, like adapting other source materials that are more easily adaptable, or I don't know, write our own stories about like fantasy and like superhero stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the thing is now, like, I feel like people don't care about new stories anymore. Like people aren't going and they're not going to the movies and watching movies anymore.
I mean,
Like
that's fair.
like I feel like the movie industry is dying, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was like ever since COVID, man. It's like everything
COVID caused big problems, and also then the writers strike,
and then the writers strike right out. Yeah, man. So man, it's not looking too good.
I'm really hoping that with like Dune and a few other like Barbie. Okay, so the thing is, Barbenheimer did prove that people want to go to theaters.
Mm-hmm. But that means you need a strong marketing campaign then, because I think the collaboration that they did was ingenious, man. Because rather than going head to head, they're just like, yo, even though we're completely different films, let's just collaborate on the marketing and capitalize.
It's not just marketing. It's like the studios refuse to accept that we've gotten smarter.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not making quality films anymore. They're just trying to like get stuff out to like pay off their shareholders. Like, look at Warner Brothers. They're like canceling actually good movies just to pay off their tax like benefits.
Terrible.
Exactly. So like, I think Hollywood is not able to maintain their actual old model in like the current landscape. But at the same time, people still want movies.
Well, I think what they're banking on too is the fact that like the old model relied on stars. Like you put Arnold Schwarzenegger in a movie back in the day, and they were selling tickets. You put Bruce Willis or you put Sylvester Stallone Denzel Washington, they're selling tickets. But
Yeah.
now no one gives a damn about
Tom Cruise.
actors. No. It's like is it a good movie? Are people talking about it? What are the reviews like? And I think
That's
you
true.
like streaming and YouTube has played a big part in that now too, because
Yeah.
now you can just go and look at the reviews and see what other people are saying and be like, oh, okay, well, if people aren't really messing with it, then it's okay. And on top of that, now people are more interested in YouTube stars and YouTube celebrities than they are of actual celebrities, to the
Really?
point where now, yeah, of course, because now look how many stars are now on Instagram and YouTube and utilizing that platform, when like back in the day, back when I was coming up on YouTube, there weren't a lot of celebrities on YouTube. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like look, Will Smith got a YouTube channel like a year before the pandemic hit. And then all these other celebrities started jumping on the bandwagon like after that, you know what I mean? So it's like
Hmm.
now it's because like that's where the eyes and the attention is at. It's on streaming. Like Matt's nephew, for example, like he won't even watch Netflix shows anymore. He'll like I'll go over there to train Matt's sister, and her son is on YouTube watching like YouTube kids like doing shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
it's like,
I have come across people like that who are like, I don't watch movies, I watch YouTube. I'm like, what?
yeah, that's the thing. And this actually, I have a confession here. This is why sometimes when you want me to watch anime, I'm actually just on YouTube, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I could watch. Like I'll go on Funimation, and if I have to put the password in, I'm like, all right, looks like it's YouTube, and it's that easy, man. Like sometimes it gets me, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's just that easy. And I think
Why
that's
is putting in the password such a difficult thing for you?
because you got such a crazy ass password. Rightfully so. I understand it, but I'm like, man, why there's so many characters in here, man? Like,
All right. So
like
since
it's
on this
Funimation,
discussion,
not your bank account, bro. Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
That's fair. Okay, so on we might as well use this as a transition to our next topic.
Okay.
On the topic of live action adaptations, moving on to our next topic. We've discussed this last week regarding Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, it was Darcy and I who had watched the first two episodes, and we kind of gave our thoughts on it, but we gave it spoiler free. Well, Tactix has now watched it. We don't know. I don't know how many episodes you've watched, but like you finished. I'm sorry, you finished this series, but you didn't finish anime.
Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, I had to watch. I mean, I was sick. I had to finish it. I started it. I was like, okay, you know what? I've passed my 3 episode mark, and there's enough there to keep me curious and interested. So
Really?
yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this. Like, what did you think of the series? Apparently,
I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I
okay,
think it's being harshly criticized, and I can understand to a certain degree why people are criticizing the show, because the 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 actual cartoon or the animation, or is it anime?
it's a Western anime.
Okay, so Western anime is so dearly beloved,
Yes,
and
rightly so.
understandably so, because that show is fantastic. Like I wrongfully criticized that show just based off of the initial trailer that I saw, and I was like, yeah, this campy shit ain't for me. And then my good friend Umar, he convinced me to stay the course and just be like, just give it your 3 episode arc or your 3 episode watch, and then decide from there whether or not you want to continue, because the first couple episodes are a bit slow and hard to get through, but once you get through it and you understand what they're trying to build up and set up, then you'll be more interested in it. And he was right, of course, and I ended up binging the series, also binging Legend of Korra right after that, and absolutely loved it. I love the show. Now going into this one, the thing that kind of kept me going was, as I was watching this, I would pull up scenes from the cartoon and do like a comparison.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I was like, there was a lot of things I totally forgot about the show. Like and there's quite like this is not a spoiler. I mean, it is a spoiler, but I mean, if you haven't seen
the original,
then that's on you. I forgot that he turns into like when he's at the water tribe near the end.
Yeah.
I forgot he
turned into a fish.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So when I saw,
how did you forget that part?
I don't know. I guess I was jaded by the M. Night Shyamalan version because I don't think he turned. I don't remember him turning into a giant fish in that one. I know he used the water and
made a wave.
Yeah. So when I saw that in the show, I was like, wait, what the hell is going on here? And I'm like,
he's a kaiju?
Yeah, I was like, this lost me. Like, I don't remember this in the cartoon. And then I went back and I'm like, oh, it was in the cartoon. My bad. All right. Okay, cool. And then they changed a couple of things, like his interaction with Boomy.
Oh, really?
It's like a slight change. Like in the cartoon, Boomy's final test was he asked. Yeah, well, he faces him, but then he's like, okay, your final test is, what is my name? And Aang kind of has to figure it out. He's just like, well, okay, well, you did this and you did this. It's like, oh, he's like, I know you anywhere. You're my friend Boomy. But in this, he already knows that he's Boomy. So it's not part of his test to figure out who he is. So I was kind of like, what? Why did you do that? Why did you change that? Uncle Iroh, he's not as and I don't know if this is from the cartoon in the sense of like it took us a while for us to get like the Iroh isms and like the knowledge bombs that he was dropping on Zuko, or if we got that relatively early on in the series.
We got that from day one.
Okay, so then in this, I wasn't loving Iroh as much as I did in the cartoon.
Really?
Like the dude who plays him, I forget his name, but I know he's from King's. Yeah, he did it. He was fine.
I thought he did a good job too.
This is probably more of a directing choice, or writing choice, but like
I can see that.
I was looking for that, like, you know, every time like Uncle Iroh like spoke or he dropped some kind of knowledge, it was so profound. And you're just like it. Like there were times in the cartoon where I had to like either rewind it or I had to pause it and like just sit and marinate on what he just said. I was like, yo, that's some true shit for a cartoon right there. Like, hold on, man. Like this is teaching me a lot.
Yes.
I'm like, who is this show catered to? So yeah, I didn't really get that same kind of vibe that I wanted out of Uncle Iroh that I got in the cartoon, unfortunately. And yeah, so I know you and Darcy had mentioned something along the lines of like the acting itself amongst a lot of the characters is very flat. And you know what it reminds me of? It's like,
would you agree?
Yes, I strongly agree.
Okay, I was like, bro, if you can't tell me those kids are doing good jobs.
No, like especially Avatar, like it's very forced, like Aang's like line. But you know what it reminds me of? It's like I felt like I was watching, like minus the singing, I felt like I was watching Avatar on Ice or Avatar the musical, like without the singing. Like you know how like when you watch, like you know what I'm saying? Like you know when you watch a musical,
yes,
and like
I think that
exactly everything is so grand and gestures are like that's what I felt like I was watching with the acting, where it was like, okay, like this is like if you were creating Avatar the musical and you had to project your dialogue in a way like to an audience full of like 3,000 people or whatever, like this is how it would come off. So once I got behind that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna accept it for what it is and just, you know,
I couldn't accept it.
Yeah,
like it's too jarring for me because it's like the main cast. If this was like side characters or like people like momentary like supporting cast members, I could get behind it. But like literally every fucking scene. I'm just like, oh
So
my god.
so here's the thing too though. I was curious, and I often do this after I watch like a show that I'm like that I've like completed. I'll go and I'll watch the interviews to see what the actors are like in real life, and like what like the vibe that they're giving off. And this
Yeah.
kid, well, one, so we have a problem here. So the first problem is he got this role, I think, when he was like 11.
Yeah.
The kid is 14 now,
Yeah.
and he's a lot taller. So I'm like, how is this gonna work? Because like, unless you guys shot the other seasons back to back, this might be a problem continuity wise.
Yeah. I feel so. Oh, I wanted to ask. I haven't seen it myself, but I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it.
Mhm.
How is the Fire Lord?
He was good. I thought he was. I think he. Yeah, I thought he was fine. He was.
In
He was fine.
comparison to his character in the show, in the animated series?
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with him really. I mean, we don't really see a whole lot of him in the cartoon.
We don't see him at all in the cartoon in the first
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, so I mean, from what I remember, I mean, he delivered his lines fine, and he was okay. He served its purpose. Um,
So what did you like?
oh yeah, right. Um,
I was like, so acting,
so
Iroh.
so Sokka is actually the most real or the most accurate depiction of his character, aside from like obviously Sokka in the cartoon was a lot more misogynistic
At first, yeah.
at first in the cartoon, but aside from like his humor and his banter, I felt like the actor did a pretty solid role. Like I felt like every time I was watching him, like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much Sokka. They toned him down a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, I was buying into his portrayal. The only issue now though is that apparently he lied about his
Mhm.
true heritage. So that's problematic.
Yeah.
What I liked about it though is that it gave nostalgia to the point where it made me go back and revisit the
The animated
animated show
series.
on YouTube. So like now like my feed is just full of Avatar shit. Like so now I'm getting like Legends of Korra and like, oh, what happened to Avatar, or what happened to Aang in this time period after the show ended? And I'm like, oh wait, I don't know what happened. Let's watch that shit. So it's like,
I'm
yeah,
okay
so
with this. I'm
so
okay
like
with this.
it opened the doors for me to like kind of like venture into that world again. And now it kind of makes me want to like I know there was like a brief comic book series run on it that expanded on the that time period, and I know the original creators wanted to, or aren't they supposed to do shows like
They're
randomly,
currently doing a movie right now.
but is it like what's the time period? Is it a
It's when
continuation
they're in their
of
30s.
okay, yeah, so that's what I want. I want to see what ends up happening because I'm like, Aang dies at the age of 60.
Yeah.
So I want to know what happens from that time period to like when he has kids and like, you know, his I want to see his friendship like with Zuko fleshed out even more and like see how that how
You
that
actually
unfolds.
would probably like the comic book series because like they do like immediately after the end of the third season, and then like
Mhm.
this movie that the creators are making is basically them in the 30s, in their 30s.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be sick. Is wait, an animated movie?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Um, yeah, I mean, it was the show was fine, and I think the benefit of it is that for those, so if you're a fan of the original, you're probably like you I could understand if you absolutely hate this show and you've written it off. Like I could totally understand it. Um, but if you're not, if you've never watched the original show and you go into this and you actually can get past the bad acting and you actually enjoy the lore that it delivers on to the point where you're like, I want to know where like what the show is all about. I want to know like where this goes.
So then what Darcy asked like a couple of weeks ago. It's like, would this be a gateway into rewatching the series?
Exactly.
So you believe this is entirely that? Like the benefit is that it does that.
I don't know. So here's the thing. It depends, because this show is pretty campy and kind of like it's pretty out there. You're like if you're not used to this kind of stuff, like if you're just like brand spanking new, like you have no, like you don't know anything about anime, you're not into this whole like spiritual mumbo jumbo stuff, and you just like decided, oh, like what is this Avatar thing? And you tuned in.
Yeah.
It might be too jarring for people, and you're just like, yeah, this is not, well, like, what is this campy shit? Like, this is not for me.
Right.
But if you're open to this kind of stuff and you're fascinated by this world, then it has the potential to be a gateway into actually checking out the show, which I hope, because the show is fantastic.
Absolutely.
The cartoon show, I mean.
Yeah. T, what did you think of the live action bending then?
Oh, I mean, compared to what we got from M. Night Shyamalan, this is superb.
We don't need to talk about that.
No, we do, because I've seen, not like, again, like my YouTube like feed is being flooded even with the M. Night Shyamalan shit, and I'm like, I didn't know it was this bad. There's a scene at like everyone like shits on, where it's like it took like five earthbenders to move a rock the size of my iPhone, bro. Like, I was like, wait, what?
Oh my god.
So like the bending, I found I had no issues with it, actually.
I had an issue with the airbending. I felt the airbending was lame.
I mean, it's just not, well, airbending in general is not really as like, it's just air. Like, it's,
hold up, don't be dissing airbending.
No. Like the actual power is cool, but visually it's not as exciting as like water or fire. Like fire is like the most exciting one, and then water has like really cool, like you can do a lot of stuff with it visually. It's just hard to like make it water look like digitally accurate. And then earth bending, like you could do some stuff with that too. That's pretty cool, but like air is, I think it's very hard to pull off and make it look cool.
I would say that it's very hard to pull off in live action. However, I think if they did it well, it would be cool.
Yeah, but that's a challenge. Like doing, how do you make air look cool? Like, unless you're creating like tempest winds and like tornadoes and all that kind of stuff. Like,
I mean, yeah. Okay, so it sounds, I may be wrong, but it sounds to me that you feel this is not a bad show, but not a good show. It's kind of like a meh show.
Yeah, it's like a 5 out of 10 for me.
Okay, so yeah. I think ultimately you and I agree, even though I don't know how you sat through the entire series. I'm gonna be trying to do that with my partner, because like we're trying to do it together. But like,
well, keep in mind, I was also sick, so I didn't really have, like, I was like bedridden, bro. So
do not tell me you didn't have stuff to watch.
No, it's not that I didn't have stuff to watch, but it's like I already started, I committed, and that's the thing. Like, if I start something and I'm already in like a good groove and I don't have anything else to do, then I'll binge the shit out of something, right? But if it's like, if I start something and then I get like distracted by actual work, and then my work just keeps piling on, and then like months go by, I'm like, damn, that show is a write-off.
Okay,
so Full Metal Alchemist.
Why would you?
I'm sorry, bro. I had to throw that. I'm gonna get to it, bro. I just like.
Oh, that stung really hard. Actually,
I know. I regretted it immediately after I said
it. Okay, so I think you and I actually agree with this series. It's just that because you were sick and you didn't have like you were already feeling bad, so you might as well keep watching meh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I actually get that. Like, because like there are certain times when I'm not feeling well that I just watch shit shows and movies just to like feel better about myself by watching other people suffer.
Yeah, and it's nothing that deep. Like it's like for me, for example, I kind of already know where the storyline is going. for the most
Exactly.
part, even though like there are certain things I didn't remember. Like I know I get the general gist, so I don't have to like be actively paying attention like I would have to with like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer, where it's like
Right.
if I like get
If you
distracted,
slip, you go miss some
yeah,
stuff.
especially with Jujutsu Kaisen, because it's like it's so dense. I'm like, I still don't understand it. You explained it to me like 14 times already, and I'm still having a hard time processing like what is happening right now.
I would have thought
So
you would have connected with Jujutsu Kaisen a lot easier because of the spirituality aspect.
I do like the spirituality aspect of it, but I'm like, I feel like I need to start with I have to finish Demon Slayer first, and
Fair.
then go back to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. Okay, so I think then is like all three of us actually agree that like because I think Darcy gave it like a 6 or a 5.5,
Mm,
like
okay.
something like that. Like I think he may have given it a 6, and you and I basically gave it a 5. We like the Geeky Bros are saying that this is not a terrible show, but it's not a good one.
No,
And in our discussion about anime adaptations, I think this kind of proves our point that this wasn't really necessary.
no. But okay, with that being said, it's not like Death Note bad.
No, like this is not the bottom of the barrel, but this is not also in the upper echelons of good. This is just like baseline.
Yeah, like there are certain areas of the show where they kind of expanded a little bit, which made it like in terms of like the fight scenes, like some of the fight scenes were expanded a little bit more.
Yeah,
Like because I was watching the side by side of like the cartoon and the show, the live action show, and it was cool how like they respected a lot. Like even like the camera changes were almost like verbatim, which
sometimes, yeah,
sometimes, right? Which I kind of respected in that regard. So it was like cool to kind of see that and like how they had paid homage to the show, but also tried to modernize it and do something a little bit different or a little bit more refreshing, which is a
yeah,
gamble, obviously,
right.
when you're playing around with the beloved show. But that being said, it's not a like Umar said, it's not a bad show, but it's not a great show. It's kind of like somewhere in the middle, and it's a good gateway. I think it's an okay gateway show for anyone who would be potentially interested in watching the animated show.
Okay, all right then. Well, I'll see if my partner and I still want to continue watching this. I don't see that happening because we haven't talked about it since we watched the first 2 episodes. So I may just move on to other things, but it seems like we're still relatively consistent that this is just a mid-level show. So yes, we will see if they do a second season.
I actually want a second season. I do want to see where it goes and if they can get better.
Okay.
Um
I kind of hope that if the kids get better, I can get on board
yeah.
better.
And I think sorry, that's what I was gonna say about the main actor who plays Aang.
Yeah.
I went and watched some interviews, and the kid's got charisma, man. I understand why he was hired, even if he's not a great actor. He's very charismatic. He's got a lot of good like energy. Um, he's getting older and taller, so
I blame the directors, to be honest, not him.
yeah, no.
They're not the ones not tapping what they can out of him.
Exactly. And it's the same, I believe it was the same thing that happened with M. Night Shyamalan. And I feel sorry for the kid who played, excuse me, Ong.
Why you got to bring that back up, man?
Yeah. So, but
Oh,
apparently he quit acting. Dude
I wouldn't be
disappeared.
surprised.
I kind of feel sorry for him because like everyone shat on that kid.
I think I feel bad for him. People like it's not his fault he got cast. That he whitewashed the cast. Like he was a kid.
Yeah, but he got blamed for it. It's the same thing that happened with that dude from Jar Jar who played Jar Jar Binks.
That poor man. That poor man. Yeah, Star Wars fans are definitely the worst. They almost killed a whole bunch of their cast members.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Geeky Bros have spoken. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Netflix's live action adaptation, is a mid-level show, but apparently a good gateway to the animated series, which thankfully is still on Netflix for us. So hopefully this will cause another resurgence in the views of Avatar. And when Avatar Studios with Brian and Michael released their animated movie with the adult versions of Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Zuko and Toph, we will just go clamoring for the movie theaters for that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see. We missed that whole arc.
Yeah.
And jumped right to like Katara.
Does this mean that you would be interested in comic books for your birthday?
What, for Avatar? Bro, I still gotta finish like reading the like 17 other comic books that you gave me. Starting with Nightwing. Like, it's still on my dresser, and I'm like, I gotta read this at one point.
Okay, that will be a conversation for off air.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I'm gonna volley it to you for our closing remarks.
All right. Well, we want to thank you guys once again for joining us. Oh my gosh, I'm losing. I can't breathe. Hold on. Okay, so want to thank you once again for joining us on another edition of Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm getting congested again, so I'm going to wrap this up real quickly by saying this has been your boy Tactix. Thank you for watching. Umar, back to you.
So this is Big Geek Umar. Thank you all for watching, and also please like, favorite, and subscribe. Leave some comments regarding the topics that you want us to cover, and also on the topics that we have covered in this episode. And also, we're going to have time stamps in our descriptions for you to be able to go to the topics that we've discussed here directly. And we'll see you guys next week. Until, live long and prosper, y'all.
Always with Batman shirts.
You know that's right.
I ain't mad at it.